Hello everyone, myself Dr. Harsha Pamnani. I am consultant endocrinologist at Siddhanta Red Cross Hospital Bhopal. Today I will be discussing a case of type 2 diabetes. So as we know, type 2 diabetes it is associated with multiple cardiovascular risk factors like obesity, dyslipidemia, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease. It is the major cause of premature death in type 2 diabetes. So, I am discussing a case of type 2 diabetes. A patient who comes in my OPD, he is 50-year-old gentleman who was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes 2 years back, and he is on metformin 1 gram twice daily, and his HbA1c is 8.6%. He is also hypertensive and is on telmisartan 40 mg once daily and metoprolol 100 mg once daily with pulse rate of 80 beats per minute, regular in rhythm, and blood pressure is fairly controlled with 128 by 80 mm mercury. He is also a case of hyperlipidemia and is on medication like atorvastatin 10 mg with LDL 68 milligram per dl, and his triglyceride was 200 mg per dl. He is also on aspirin 75 mg per day. My patient is also obese with BMI of 31 kg per meter square. On presentation, his other labs were normal, like EGFR was 76 ml per minute per 1.73 meter square, and AST ALT were slightly raised with values of 60 and 65 mg per dl. So we are dealing with a case who is high risk patient, means he has type 2 diabetes, hypertension, dyslipidemia, obesity, and it is the common patient which comes in our daily OPD, and he has no comorbidities. So regarding the treatment of this patient, we have to control glycemia, means glycemic control, it has to be optimized, and we have to also look for cardiorenal protection. So HbA1c target, as we can see, if it is less than 7, is appropriate for this patient if it can be achieved without the risk of hypoglycemia. Weight of the patient, it has also to be decreased because he has high BMI. And as we know, early achievement of glycemic control reduces long-term risk of micro and macrovascular complications in type 2 diabetes. As we have learned this from UKPDS trial, this is legacy effect, that if we control tightly sugars early, then the complications of diabetes, they are delayed very much. So early strict control of glycemia is important, which is metabolic memory or legacy effect. So, as we know from the latest ADA guidelines, that in patients who have atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes, in those patients, SGLT2 inhibitors and GLP-1 RA agonists are preferred. But if the patient has no heart failure or no CKD, then GLP-1 RA is preferred over SGLT2 inhibitor. But if the patient has atherosclerotic heart disease, heart failure, or CKD, then SGLT2 inhibitors are preferred. SGLT2 inhibitors, they are basically oral medications, and GLP-1 RA, they are mostly injectables. So SGLT2 inhibitors are preferred. They cause glucosuria, and by causing glucosuria, they cause weight loss. And osmotic diuresis, they also cause, they decrease the preload. Weight loss is of the order of 1 to 3 kg. And SGLT2 inhibitors, they have also some positive effects beyond weight loss, beyond sugar control. They also lower blood pressure, and they also decrease the level of uric acid. Main important thing of SGLT2 inhibitor is that there is significant reduction in the 3-point MACE, which we have seen from different trials of the SGLT2 inhibitor. They also decrease mortality. CV mortality was decreased mainly with empagliflozin, And hospitalization for heart failure was also decreased, and there was decrease in the progression of CKD risk also. So SGLT2 inhibitors, they have pleiotropic effects. Now, in this gentleman who has high risk, means he has diabetes, hypertension, dyslipidemia, and obese, and he is already taking metformin, and he also, by adding medication, his HbA1c was 8.6. So, by giving him the options of multiple medication, he has fear of taking too many medications. So he just want that medication which has also low risk of hypoglycemia. So by seeing those, we have the options of DPP4 inhibitor and SGLT2 inhibitor. And DPP4 inhibitor, as we know, that they restore the incretin effect, as incretin effect is decreased in diabetes, and they restore the incretin effect, and they release insulin only in the presence of food in the gut. So they don't cause hypoglycemia, and they restore the gut physiology. So DPP4 inhibitor, they are also oral tablets which do not cause hypoglycemia, and one is SGLT2 inhibitor which also do not cause hypoglycemia. So we can have also other medications which do not cause hypoglycemia, like pioglitazone and acarbose. But in this patient, because of other comorbidities, we are favoring this SGLT2 inhibitors and DPP4 inhibitors, and we have combination for the two, that this combination acts on the multiple pathways of the ominous octet. If we combine SGLT2 inhibitors, DPP4 inhibitors, and metformin, so they act on the multiple pathways of the ominous octet. And DPP4 inhibitor and SGLT2 inhibitor combination, they have also cardiorenal benefit. There is single pill which can be taken at any time of the day, and it has less risk of hypoglycemia. And the benefit of the combination is that they decrease HbA1c more than 1%. So if we are using any one tablet, any one medication of diabetes, anti-diabetes, then it can decrease HbA1c maximum by 1%. But this combination can decrease HbA1c by more than 1%. And there is also improvement in the lipid profile also. So when we use this combination in our patient, it is expected to decrease HbA1c below 7%. So as our patient has HbA1c of 8.6%, and expected HbA1c decline is 7%, and it also provides micro and macrovascular benefits also. So it is single pill, can be taken at any time of the day, and it has robust HbA1c reduction. It reduces weight of the patient also. By reducing the weight, means AST ALT levels can also be decreased. Hypoglycemia risk is very less with the combination. Cardiorenal benefits is also there. Side effects of the drug is also less. Cost of the medication is also decreased by combining two medicines together. And the some side effects like genital infection risk, which was seen with SGLT2 inhibitor, this is also decreased by the use of the combination, and perhaps might be because of better sugar control with the two agents, or it may be due to the presence of DPP4 enzyme in the yeast and bacteria that cause the infection. And this DPP4 inhibitor that inhibits the enzyme and that inhibits the bacteria and fungus that cause the infection, it is seen in the trials, but more data are needed. But the infection rate is definitely reduced, but the mechanism by which infection rate is reduced, it is to be more studied now. So coming to conclusion, that this combination, it is more cost effective, single pill, robust HbA1c reduction is seen, weight of the patient is also reduced, hypoglycemia risk is also reduced, infection risk is reduced, side effects is reduced, and the compliance is better. So it is the new molecule which has been in market since 2017, and recently it is used much because of many more benefits. Tolerability is also improved, and side effects is also decreased. So this is all from my side, and thank you.